Hello, today I'm going to talk about branding yourselves before others brand you. It is about public image, how important it is for us to take steps at a very early stage to nurture and build our brand before members of the audiences start putting labels on us. Let's see what we have in store for this particular session. Now, when I said brand yourself before others brand you, what I meant is that let others know how you would like to be known before they label you. They could label you rightly or wrongly, but I am more concerned about them labeling us wrongly. Now, some facts that I think you all need to know, that we all are aware, in fact, that throughout our lives, people attach labels to us, no matter who we are. People regularly apply labels to others whom they barely know or have never even met. And in the case of Rotary, bear in mind that when Rotary International conducted a survey, only 35% of them know what we exactly do. The rest of them, they do not know. These labels reflect and affect how people think about us, about our identities, and as well as, in a way, influence us how the way we think about ourselves. Having said that, labels are not always negative. They are labels that are positive as well. The positive labels is fine, but we must not have people to have the opportunity to have negative labels on us. Now, the biggest problem with using label is that people out there infer us based on our current behavior. So as Rotarians, it is very, very important that our behavior is actually commensurate with the reputable organizations of Rotary. Earlier on, I spoke about embracing the guiding principles so that over time, we will be able to have the core values transcend upon us to make us a wholesome Rotarians. In this particular talk, I'm going to emphasize the other component, which is on the logo, the consistency in using the logos. And just to recap, in the earlier talk, I mentioned about diversity, equity, and inclusion code of conduct, the 4-way test, the Rotarian code of conduct, and the object of Rotary as the basic foundation in giving birth to the Rotary core values, so that if we embrace them, we will be able to become a good Rotary brand ambassador. But there are other factors that give inaccurate labeling. As an example, use of non-consistent brand logo is actually one of them. So I'm going to zoom in and focus a lot about brand logo compliancy. Why? Because no one is going to understand your Rotary logo brand better than you. We are all Rotarians, we are the brand ambassadors, so by right, we know our Rotary brand better than anyone else. Let me invite you to a particular event. Upon arrival at the lobby of the building, you see this particular logo. And you walk through the set of elevators to go into the ballroom. And as you enter into the elevators, you see another set of logo. When you arrive at the ballroom, you saw another logo. And when the session is over, you finally see another different logo. And this is all about a particular project launching ceremony that you attended. Now, I am sure you agree with me that since the arrival at the lobby of the hotel or that building until the conclusion of the event, we have actually seen a number of logos, all related to the same club. In fact, there were 4 different logos of the same club. Imagine audiences who are not familiar with Rotary, seeing these 4 different logos of the same club, what impact it will create in your mind, especially when you have representatives from the media who are there to cover your stories and your projects. Therefore, inconsistency causes our audiences to be confused, and it may be interpreted as lack of high ethical standards in professionalism, and we must actually be aware about this. I'm giving you an example of the Coca-Cola story in 2011, where the famous red can of Coca-Cola with the white wordings actually being changed to white and silvery cans featuring the silhouette polar bears. And you know what happened? Wow, it created confusion, backlash from retailers and consumers. It created confusion because the packaging was similar to Diet Coke packaging. Eventually, Coca-Cola pulled it out from the market after a few weeks. And that is an example of a packaging that is similar to another product from the same company. Now, in our case, some of us clubs, we still have legacy logos. And you can see over here, these legacy logos use different colored wheels of the Rotary organization. And each one of them are of different designs. If I am members of the public who are not familiar with Rotary, imagine the kind of impact it has on my mind on the perception of these logos. My question will be, are they members of Rotary International? Are they the same kind of Rotary that I used to know in my neighborhood? So with that, I would like to take these legacy logos of clubs synonymous with the white cans of Coca-Cola. They are not unified. But because of that situation today, Coca-Cola has actually adopted a unified brand architecture. All the cans, you can see, the majority of the cans have this red color and the white lettering of Coca-Cola. But the small part of the top of the can differentiate between one product to the next produced by Coca-Cola. And if you take stock of that and compare that with our Rotary organization, we also have the master brand signature being the equivalent to the red part of the can, and the upper part actually is synonymous with the name of our club. The different kind of club that is catered to doing different activities for the different needs of the different communities across the world. So very, very similar to our organization. And if you look at this red can, as I mentioned earlier on, this is equivalent to what we call it the master brand signature, where it comprises of the Rotary word mark to be exact, and the Rotary wheel. But if we add in the name of the club, then it is equivalent to the different colors that are being placed on top of the Coca-Cola can, because that is actually a different flavor of the different products produced by Coca-Cola, equivalent to the different activities that are actually carried out by clubs across the world to meet the needs of the communities where they are located. Every Rotarian has to be conscious with our branding, including the use of consistent logo. This is very important. So that brings me to some quiz time. Now, if you were to use the presidential team logo for an event at your district, which one will you use? Number 1 or number 2? And the answer is clearly number 2, because the number 1 logo is actually being used by Rotary International. So if the presidential team is to be used for an event at your district, you need to use the district logo, which is actually displayed as number 2. But if you want to use the presidential team logo for an event organized by your club, then use the master brand signature of your club. instead of District 3310 as an example that I'm showing you here at the slide. Now, in the coming Rotary year, the theme is Imagine Rotary. So which one will you use? Is it 1 or 2 for activities organized in your district? Clearly is item number 2 is the correct format. Again, if it is to be used for an activity organized by your club, then the Rotary District 3310 logo will be replaced with your club master brand signature. Now, the next slide actually is asking which is the correct brand compliant 2022-2023 presidential theme logo. Which of these 3? Number 1 is correct, but you notice the wheel is missing from the word Rotary International. It is called the simplified version, whereas item number 2 and 3 is the normal version of the wheel. And they are both correct. 1 and 2 is correct to be used for the construction of this logo. But item number 3 is not correct. Why? Because the presidential theme Imagine Rotary logo, if you use in a lockup, you must use the version that is used in item 1 and item 2. And what it means is that the word Imagine Rotary appears on the left-hand side of the circle and the 7 purple dots. Because in item number 3, the word Imagine Rotary appears at the bottom. That particular logo alone can be used only on its own without the lockup format. This is called the lockup format because of the perpendicular line separating the master brand signature with the theme logo. And next is which club logo is the correct logo that is fully Rotary brand compliant? Now the answer is both are not brand compliant. These used to be allowed in Rotary until the end of 2020. But as of beginning 2021, the template no longer has this particular alignment. Now, some of you may realize or not, but there are 5 different colors to our Rotary logo, whether it's for club, whether it's for district, whether it's for zone. There are 5 colors, and these are the different kind of colors that you can choose based on the different background that you wish to have this logo to be affixed to. Now, how many alignments are available for Rotary zone, district, or club logo? Well, the answer is that there are 3 alignments. Now, what do you mean by alignment? Well, I'm showing you here in the slide. The picture shows you the 3 different kinds of logo. The one on the left actually allows you to put the name of your club at the bottom of the word Rotary wordmark. And the one at the center actually has the name of your club on top. And the one on the right has the name of the club on top and with the word club at the bottom of the word Rotary. So how it is differentiated in the template, it is called below logo for the one on the left, and the one at the center is above logo, and the one on the right is above and below logo. So my take is that if you have a long club name, it may be worth considering using the alignment on the right. Now, how about Rotrack? Now, Rotrack has also got 3 alignment. These are the 3 different alignment, which is similar to the one adopted by Rotary for the Rotary clubs. However, you notice the colors are limited to only 3, either in cranberry or all 100% black or 100% white. Again, depending on the background that you want to use this logo on. Now, which logo which of these logos are actually brand compliant? I'm showing 5 different logos over here. Well, all of them are in compliant. So you can see the different kind of logo, all right? And I know many of us like to have t-shirts bearing the Rotary logo to identify us as people of action. So which of these clearly the design number 2 is the correct version? Because if you have a rotary logo, the big rotary wheel, which is called the mark of excellence, the ruling says that you must use the master brand signature nearby it. So you can see the t-shirt, the second t-shirt from the right has got the master brand signature of the club. And that must be used nearby to the mark of excellence at the back of the t-shirt. So that's the correct version. And here is another examples of the correct version of the mark of excellence and the master brand signature. Now, Rotary's guideline is that today, if many clubs are actually coming out with masks and sanitizers and so forth because of the pandemic, but please be sensitive to make sure that you do not have big logos on the face masks or on those sanitizers related to the pandemic. Why? Because we do not want to have people to have the impression that Rotary is capitalizing on the pandemic to do promotion. So take note of that. Now let's come to the End Polio logo. The End Polio now logo has two versions. One on the left is without the rotary wheel. The one on the right has got the rotary wheel. Both are correct, but which one can you use? Let's look at the next slide. Now this one indicated that both of them are being used in a lockup format with the master brand signature of a club. So which one is the correct version? Well, clearly the correct version is item number 1. Item number 2 has got duplicate wheels, which is not actually required. The wheel on the left is enough to signify that End Polio now is part of Rotary movement and organizations. And this is the logos of the 7 area of focus. And these logos are actually brand compliant and must be followed accordingly. You cannot change the sequence of the pictures, right? And you have 3 different kinds of alignment. You can see whether you just want to have the center, Rotary's area of focus wordings at the center of the circular pictorial of the logo, or another factor is that you want to have the wordings for each of the 7 area of focus in white or in different color. You can also have it either horizontal or vertical. Again, the sequence cannot be changed. And you notice the wordings have got specific colors, which is actually in synchronizations with each area of focus. So this is brand compliant definitely. Now, is this particular logo brand compliant? The Give Offside Charity Run logo is actually brand compliant. On the right is the area where you can actually use the name of the activity or the name of a partnering organization and their logo, or it could be strategic in the case of presidential team. I give you an example like here, right? This is a collaboration between Rotary District 3310 and Toastmasters as an example. So we can have the Toastmasters logo on the right. And similarly with the second example. Now, in this particular example, this is strategic. Imagine Rotary presidential team is a strategic emphasis that is being adopted by Rotary International, and that can actually be put on the right hand side in the lockup format. And there are some rulings. And if you notice, the distance, the gap between the perpendicular line and the wheel must not be wider or smaller than the letter O in the Rotary word mark. And similarly, between the perpendicular line and the wordings or the logo on the right hand side, that space must also be the same, not shorter or smaller than the width of the letter the letter O. Therefore, it is very important that we need to comply with all this in order that we can achieve consistency. So it requires a lot of efforts in making sure that we safeguard our brand. Because according to Walt Disney's former CEO, Michael Eisner, he said that a brand is a living entity. And the process of building a brand is similar to raising kids, which means that we need to nurture it, we need to give a lot of love and attention, and it takes a long time. It takes a long time to be able to have that impact on the people who see our logo. Jeff Bezos, founder and CEO of Amazon, says that, branding is what people say about you when you are not in the room. So they will probably label you when you are not in the room. So in order that they don't give us the wrong label, we must make sure that we start building and nurturing all these guidelines conscientiously, diligently, with a lot of passion, love, and care. And one way of doing that, as I mentioned, is the guiding principles, especially the 4-way test, that will help us to the path of being a good brand ambassador and showing people that we are actually people of action. With that, I want to thank you for continuing to nurture and build Rotary brand so that people will not label us wrongly. Thank you.